Yeah, what's good, everyone? We're finally here to my final video for this year, or this, well, my final wrap-up video. My top 10 favorite albums from this past year of 2023. Uh, Come with me as I talk about these albums and tell me what you think about these albums and my choices and everything. So yeah, I'm Matt from Diazable. Top albums of 2020. The first one we have here is the Acacia Strand with the album Failure Will Follow You. They're one of my favorite bands of all time, and they really reinvented themselves by doing something different by releasing two separate LPs at the same time while creating sound, like doing the sounds that they normally do, but in a different way. Where like one that's heavily focused on just being heavy, fast, and short, while other ones being slow, sludgier, which they usually mix those together. So they're like, let's just straight up split those and see what happens. And this one was really the slower album really like stood out to me in terms of just how sludgy and just like they even mix some like I don't say not like they do a lot of different things on this album of like doom, sludge, country twang stuff. Like it really creates a weird atmosphere and sound to it, just how uh it feels like you're walking through a swamp half the time. You're just feeling so much dread, like you failure will follow you. They really capture that feeling, I feel, on this album, how just how dark it is. Next we have here the Tsunami LP. This one just dropped out of the blue and everything. Checked it out because everyone's hyped about them. I've seen them a couple times now and everything. And I like their stuff. It's fun to listen to. It seems like a lot of people are very split about this band and everything. But I really like the sound, the production on this, but particularly the drum. Oh, it's so like that snare drum, so snappy, sounds so good. I really like that. The vocals sound really good, riffs solid, nothing too impressive, but they're just everything's really solid. Like it's a well-crafted album, I think. Maybe not the most innovative, but it just sounds really good. And people don't seem to like their lyrics a lot and whatnot, but it's just aggressive and like in the best sounding way, good aggression. Next we have End with the album, the frailty, the sin of human frailty. Bad with album names. This is a very impressive album, which doesn't it does make sense because there's a lot of talent in this band, and I love how they're pushing the boundaries of what is considered heavy and dark and whatnot. They do some industrial stuff here, some low style screamings and stuff, different vocal styles, uh, heavy riffs, light riffs, snappy drums and everything. They really like all their other stuff was it was good, but it was just really heavy, pretty direct, like they say, blackened hardcore, like a mix of black metal hardcore. But this, they really branch out with those industrial sounds and synthesizer sounds and whatnot, and bringing in guest vocals that are from different genres and stuff like that. So they really like push themselves on this album, which I really appreciate. Next, we have Scalp with their album Black Tar. This album really like I heard of Scalpel, checked them out and everything. I was like, oh, they're pretty good. Like fast, intense punk style music. And when I put this on and listened to it, I was like, oh man, the ambiance and the nuances in this album, just how tight it is, how intense, and just how short it is. And like they don't waste any time with their music. They just give it to you right there, straight, hard ass hitting punk music that just rips through your brain. Next, we have Dying Wish with their album Symptoms of Survival. And I think what's really good about this particular album is the lyric content, especially learning about the main vocalist, Emma, what she writes about, where she's been, what she's had to overcome in life. So it feels like it talks a lot about pain, overcoming that pain, and just getting through life and just trying to be a better person and everything. And with her like haunting style vocals, great lyrics, and those heavy riffs, great breakdowns. It's a no-brainer that this is a really good album and whatnot. Next, we have the band Gel with their album Only Constant. I love the sound of the vocalist and just how raw and refreshing she sounds. They have a lot of really catchy and groovy style riffs that really get stuck in your ear that you just really groove to. And then they do stuff like the middle part with the interlude of like different uh, voicemails from people who are into hardcore and just been through stuff and everything. Like it's like this band's for like hardcore is already like an outsider thing, and this is for the people who are on the outside. So it's really cool that they're giving a voice to those who are even outside the alternative world and stuff. And they just sound really good and really like tight playing together. And as they say, hardcore for the freaks. Next, we got a huge album with Pain of Truth, Not Through Blood, because this is a record for the ages, as people want to say, I think. And I can agree to it. Like, it's going to be a changing of a guard in terms of like when people like, oh, what did you get into? How did you get into hardcore? People younger now might like say this is one of their influences growing up, because they bring all the old school hardcore guys on guest vocals, all the new school guys on guest vocals, and just make an incredible good hardcore album that everyone old new will like, and everyone in between. So kudos on that for showing what hardcore is all about and how it's a great celebration on this album. So we have Harm's Way with the album Common Suffering, and this band sounds so good. I saw them years ago and everything. I've kept up with them. I actually never liked Harm's Way at first, to be honest, but I just over time just kept listening to them, and they just grew on me and loved their stuff. And this album seems like a real like step up and just shooting point. Like they're just going further and fine-tuning that sound of heaviness, but with industrial sound to it, with hard riffs and funky experimentation with clean vocals, different guest vocalists, different mixes and whatnot, using different like synthesizers and keyboards to, well, I guess not really keyboards and stuff like that, but just really experimenting with their sound and expanding on that industrial hardcore sound with all the aggression and everything. And it's just really good, hard-hitting stuff here. Next, we have Jarhead Fertilizer with the album Surreal Warfare. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that and everything, but this one really took me by surprise, because I've always heard about this band, never checked them out. Finally checked them out, and I did this right before I was making this video and everything. And I want to say I've never heard slam death metal sound so good in terms of like the mixing and like how every instrument, drums, guitars, vocals, just you can hear everything so clearly. Everything's layered wonderfully, and every instrument has a time to shine, whether it be a drum solo, whether it be a nice deep bass line. The vocals are just intensely like they just sound powerful and everything, and the guitars are just ripping through. Probably one of the best metal albums I've ever heard, especially with all like the eerie clips and weird sound effects that just give a nice creepiness to this album. And I just love that I discovered it towards the end of the year. I really had to adjust my list, because once I heard this, I was like, dang, something's got to go, because this is literally like a perfect album. And finally, we have the album Brand New Soul from the band Angel Dust. Simply, this album blew me away, because every track felt super creative, fresh, sonically pleasing, paced out very well, and lyrically it just spoke to so many things that are relevant to my life and probably other people's lives and whatnot. And always heard about them after the whole TUI Trapped Under Ice went on break for a while, and the Angel Dust came out. Never really got into them. Took me a while, got more and more into them, and then I was happy I got into them because they recently came to Seoul and they killed it and did a great job and everything. Meeting the band and everyone, talking to Justice and everything, like getting to see how their thought processes and how making the album and everything. And it's a beautiful album that I think everyone, hardcore, non-hardcore, is gonna love. So anyone who's not into hardcore, I would definitely say check out this album. I think it's a great album. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the year of 2023. I have my playlist down below. Check it out. Tell me what your thoughts were on the best albums this year, best music. And I'm looking forward to what 2024 is going to happen and whatnot, what's got in store for me. So I'm Matt from Diazable. Thanks for coming on by, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
When you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you. When punctures come